Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschella, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
All right. Let's go live here. This is the CBGM College Basketball General Manager. I'm going to drop the link in the chat just so everybody gets a sense of what this is. You can always go check that out. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go put up the broadcast of the stream itself. Okay, so give me a moment. See if anyone from the Wolverine Studios Discord wants to come around. We'll do that. We'll do that. So no 2D playing of the game today, really, but we're going to be showing, the quick sim of the finals of the power conferences. So let's just try to get everyone into the chat as soon as possible, and we'll go from there. All right, one last spot to broadcast, or two. I'm just going to add Slack here for a sec. I can't see who's in the chat right now, but I'm going to have a look at that in a second. Okay. If you're watching this on a video on demand, we're going to get started real soon. Let's have some fun with this. One last place. On X or Twitter or whatever. Try that spot. One graphic to show here. Probably need to update this graphic eventually for Selection Sunday, but it's been working for a while now. We got a few versions. That should be good. Not too many hashtags. Okay, we're posted now as many places as we want to get to. So let me take a look, see who's around. We got Big Ev. Welcome, Big Ev. Let's see who else is showing up. Hopefully we have as well EC Hood. So whoever. We'll give it a couple more. It's 3 minutes live into the stream. I guess I'll give it a couple more minutes. Hopefully the word can get out. Maybe I'll hashtag everybody in the association as well. Do a ping. Probably everyone thinks the sim happened, but no, it hasn't happened yet. But that might give people just one more chance to come and experience something I don't usually have the time to do very often, which is the Selection Sunday show, to see if you make the tourney. And it always seems to, come out after the fact, and then you have to watch it after, and then it's less dramatic. So let's add some drama. Okay, EC Hood is here. All right, so basically we have the someone who appreciates this the most, which is EC. So before we get started and we see what's going on, let me just put something up on the screen here as well. So I'm going to also load a browser. Let me see if I can get this over here as well. Let's See if anybody sees this. Might have to zoom in on this as well. 4K monitor. Okay, so everyone's looking at the graphic. Updated the year. Yeah, big deal. Okay, so I'm going to turn off that graphic. And before we begin, here we go. I want to go through this real quick from our resident competitor, I guess you could also say, on who's going to be the eventual dance partners and building a better bracket. That's EC Hood. He's with us here in the chat as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just look to play back a little bit of what has been said. So his bracketology, he hadn't seen yet how these finals will play out. So, but there are, some shocking upsets he's talking about. Xavier likely going to be at the at-large berth. All right, so let's take a look at his brackets here. I'm going to even zoom in even more. The webpage hates that zoom. Okay, so let's just pay attention to the left side. Don't worry about the graphics overloading here. Okay, so we have a projection of the last four coming in being Davidson, Charleston, Temple, and Xavier. Forgot Baylor. Uh-oh. Baylor's definitely getting in. But we got Cuse, Zags looking on the outside. And then even further on the outside, NC State. But okay, so this is flawed, I guess EC what is saying, but all right, let's get to it. But let's take a look at some of the number one ranking projections. We can base that a little bit there as well. And you can see Baylor in the top 25 ticker as we go through. They lost about 10 games this season, even with Anton Blake. So, yeah. Hey, Breeze, welcome. Okay, so we got the Tar Heels at a 1. We got Texas definitely is going to have a 1. I think no matter what. Grant's having a great season there. Colorado, now Galia's best team. Likely. Maryland is very good. Always got great recruits. So we're looking at those as being 1s. 2s, the question will be, will ODU keep the 32-3? Well, that record will get them at the 2 spot. Wichita State going from almost an undefeated season last season to losing 5 games. Essentially almost the same team. But just a big letdown for them to OK State in the final as Quadjo Laflamme took over. And he's been on the not trade block, but he's been traded around already in the pro game, NBGM. Okay, we have the Seminoles and Wisconsin also coming in at 2 seeds from EC Hood. And what we'll do is we'll get into now the real deal, the real thing. So I don't need to show this browser anymore. And here, this is the big deal, right? So we're talking these matchups. Unranked Miami, the Canes make it into the finals, taking out Notre Dame and the Tar Heels, which looks like probably an easy win for Louisville. And we're looking right now at the spread, almost 7 points for Louisville on that one. And then we have Marquette. Nice to see them in the finals. And Butler heads up there. Classic Big 12 type battle, which is changing. But Kansas and Texas will match up in that. And then Wichita State, which seems to slap this entire conference all the time. It's probably going to happen again. Almost undefeated throughout conference play. And big matchup here. Stanford. A lot of love for Stanford in here to be at the 20 rank to play Colorado. All right. So how this is going to go is I'm going to sim the day, and then it takes me to the next stage, and then we're going to see what's going to happen. So let's do this. Is everyone ready? We got enough viewers for now. Not enough time to stream these games. They just kind of take a long time. Perhaps in the future we'll get back to conference final streaming a little bit, but they're almost 40 minutes, so not doing that. And here we go. Fingers crossed for whoever wants to win. Will the Canes pull it off? Let's see. Canes! I saw that. Shit. Wichita State, I didn't really have much doubt there. But the Canes, who's got 2 injuries flowing on the bottom. Don't know what that is, but let's take a look at some box scores. Texas with the choke. Will that impact the rankings? And then we have Colorado gets the dub. Unfortunate for Stanford. But let's take a look. We'll come back. Let's stay on the screen for a second here. It's important. Marquette couldn't get it done. The Canes win the ACC tournament unranked. And that will impact where they'll go in terms of a ranking. But the Longhorns, will they still be assured a #1 rank? Let's hear it in the chat if you think Texas drops to a 2. I doubt that. But Wichita kind of making a statement. They're winning by 23 that they want to be a top rank, top seed. What is going to go down? But let's go now check out those injuries and see what happened. Doesn't really give me a sense of most recent here, but I do go through these for some of the teams that just played. So we got, well, Makowicz has been out for a bit. Anton Blake's fine. Let's see if there's anything. I'm going to go through this list slowly to kind of see if there were any big ones from the teams that played. This guy, that's brutal for UConn. That guy's out for the season. 345 days. That's like, it's a full calendar. This guy's lost his knee. But anyways, we want to see teams like that just played, like Louisville or Miami or any of those kind of teams show up with an injury here. So we're just slowly going through. We got Georgia Tech. We got Triple OS with McCollum on severe back pain. They didn't play today anyway. And we do have one Kansas injury. The 12th, did that just happen? Yeah, so Kimani Archie with the win, but has a sore arm now. So we'll see how that goes into heading into the tourney. The calendar will roll about 5 days. Okay, it's ads. Okay. Stop chirping for a bit. Just going through the list right now to see the injuries. Any big injuries? Let's just go through these injuries still because it's kind of boring everyone. Jim Capel. Capel has a sore back. Capel for the Cards has a sore back. Kimani Archie has a sore arm. Kansas, both about 3 to 6 days. Let's keep it going here. Let me see if Stanford had anyone or Miami. So we're getting that. Marquette. Looks like something happened here. Marquette. Seth Chavis. 9 days. Finger. These guys can still play, just at a really terrible percentage of output. So Miami of Ohio, we don't see the Canes with an injury. Not that everyone's caring what's going on, but this is a bad one. This impacts everything. Chico DeLea, a broken wrist experienced on the 10th. To return in April. Dang, I think he can play though. No! There's no percentage of availability. That just takes away from everything from UNC. I don't know if the basically the NCAA impacts that in any way, but that's tough. This is a projected top overall pick, Indy MVP, 4 badges lit up. broken wrist in the ACC tournament. That's got to suck. Very sorry, Nick. Old Dominion. This looks like kind of an old injury. But, yeah, I was saying, reminding everyone. Chico Delea, UNC out 33 days. Probably the whole tourney. Right to pros after, I guess. Okay, so then what else do we got going on here? Old Dominion, that's an old injury. We're looking to see a Stanford. Stanford has something here. Two things here. 3 things here. Jesus. Does everyone know that this has already happened? Stanford, 3 injuries. On the 11th, so that didn't happen recently, but Stanford's getting rocked. That sucks. No wonder they lost by 12. And last but not least, anything for Wichita State or anything? No. We do have this Askew concussion for the Badgers. All right. With that in mind, there's only one thing to do next. Okay. Do you want to? Let's have a quick peek at those Stanford players if they have availability or not. Elton Owens can play at 87%. That'll go up a bit going into the tournament. Not the best player. And Devin Washington, this guy's decent guard, 91%, will be pretty effective. 13 a game. So, but this one, let's see how good Brett Reed is. Doesn't get a ton of run, but that knee injury, that sucks. Hopefully he'll be back and playing again at some point. Okay, let's get down to the show. And that's right here. So let's play it. Who's ready? We got Selection Sunday. We're letting this play through. Montage and all. Not really much of a montage. So basically when I get this now, I have the choice. So we're watching it this season. The Wolverines Studio Sports Network. And everyone wants to know what the top seeds are going to be. And let's see if there's anyone else talking quotes. No. All right. So I'm just going to go game by game. I'm not doing an auto run. I'm going to do this at my own pace. All right. Now, I'm assuming this will be Texas, Maryland, or something in one bracket coming out. So with that in mind, we got... Oh, no, it's the playing games. Don't tease me like that. But we got Team Canada with St. Francis. They ended up winning the tournament, getting in. Team Canada will be playing New Hampshire. All right, and in the next play-in game, we're going to have Army versus Fairfield. Army with a decent season there. Not run by anyone, but Navy has an owner. But that's pretty good for the computer. And next up, George Wash versus Loyola Marymount. So Sparrow is in a play-in game. And if he's in the chat, I'm not sure if he's watching to see that, but you're not officially in the tournament. I guess you could say the top 68. That's where Loyola Marymount's going to be. They got to beat G-Wash to get in. All right, next up after that, LaSalle, another playing game. Davidson was potentially on the outside looking in, but LaSalle, we have an owner with LaSalle. And that's going to be a tough battle. Both same record between the two. Decent recruiting from a human owner here. Used to have a human owner over here who ran Syracuse as well. He's gone. All right, next up, This is the first overall in a region. We got UNC playing the play-in of Team Canada. So with Chico Delea out, they still gave this team the respect. The Tar Heels and Nick the Nuts, probably the weakest one in the tourney now after Chico's out. But it's a deep, deep team. They're going to prove that they're more than one player. All right, next up, Texas at the 2. Wowzers. Not giving Texas the respect. Wow. What is happening here? That just does not seem like a very logical simulation move. But Texas winning the tourney, but kind of gifted with the weakest number 1 team. Not a strong number 2 now that they have to play. Oh, yeah. Texas did lose. They did lose to Kansas in the final. That's right, sorry. So Kansas did take that down, Grant. So next up, let's keep it going. Georgetown, Incarnate Word, Coffee's team, and we got Gabe the Whale, our statistical expert. His team is going to be at the 3 spot, playing in the same bracket with Texas. And after that, we got Lou of the Cardinals. Wow, this bracket in East Rutherford. Wow, it's going to be interesting. So they're definitely going to be able to get probably past North Carolina, maybe out that side. We could have a potential Texas-Louisville matchup, but let's not take anything from Saralu, who's going to try to upset Louisville, who lost the ACC tournament. And after that, we got Minnie and Cuse heads up battle, Kev BK versus Brandon. And so that's a 5-12 upset special usually on tap, but Minnesota's a very strong team. So that's a tough second round matchup. Could be the Cards and Gophers going at it. And after that, we got Princeton's in the group too. So, that's unfortunate for Grant, but Texas, Princeton in the same side. They get a 6 ranking out of the 26-6 Ivy League champ. This is definitely a tough region to get out of. And after that, we have Arkansas and classic UConn. Now, not the team you kind of want to play. UConn, though, is in shambles this season, but power recruited next season. They're going to be something to watch out for with the AI next season, but not a team Arkansas really wants to be playing. Connecticut, Texas does seems likely, and maybe people can put together their predictions after this comes out. So last team we got, and Notre Dame. Oh, God, Zona coming out of the Pac-12. But Notre Dame recruits well usually. Used to have a bit of a dynasty going on for a couple seasons. Won back-to-back championships. They get to have another ACC rematch potentially. And an 8th seed for Dame after losing in the ACC tournament. All right, so take screenshots, do whatever you want for East Rutherford, but that's the first side. That's a tough bracket. Those teams, those owners, that's going to be hell. All right, next up, Maryland gets it. They got to play the Doggies at Wolford. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. But the Terrapins are going to get that top seed with Coffee, which was expected. They played well enough. And number 2 coming in, we got the same size Wichita State. Shockers not going to be getting a number 1 seed. Conference not getting the respect. Last season not getting the respect. Final Four back-to-back not getting enough respect. Is it 3 times now? Something like that. Anyways, let's go after that. Evansville's got to play Wichita State. So, I don't know. Get slapped. Next up, Baylor. Baylor's team got players. They're going to be on the same side as the Shockers. SIEU is going to have to play Baylor. That's a tough one. And next up after this, we got, there's your Stanford team, IUPUI. They're matched up against the 4 seed. There's Stanford with Sasha Jovanovic, or I think is the guy's name, is their star player. Their Norton type candidate, or we'll call it Naismith, but Norton, can't rename it. And after that, OK State, last year's champs. They're going to be playing a 12 play-in. Loyola Marymount, if they get through that, Sparrow's going to have to take out Chuck. Chuck, not with the same kind of talent as last season, but they are the defending champs. All right, after that, we have Coppin State at the 6. So I was kind of trying to let East, I don't know that EC say they were going to be better than that. The 8-9 was Canes and Coppin, but Coppin's, that's suitable for a 6. And then Aggo has to play Coppin State here, so I don't know. Coppin State's lineup's got guys in the top 50 that just in the, almost the full starting lineup. Okay, next up, the Canes. 3 of my teams on the same side, mate. That is crap. Man. Well, only one will survive, but that's just cannibalism on my side. Next, DePaul Troy. DePaul at the 9, DePaul at the 8, Troy at the 9. Agalia, great season out of Troy this season, gets a 9 seed. Kind of went over Rhode Island, but they got to play the Canes, the ACC champs. Don't get more than a 7 seed. Going to be a battle going on. Who will survive that bracket? So that's Milwaukee up in Wisconsin. Next up after that, we got Colorado getting a number 1 seed. So that's the Buffs. They're going to play Gardner-Webb. And who's going to be their number 2? They're going to have FSU. Just a sample. Brings the Seminoles in there at the number 2 seed in Dallas. And after that, we got Kansas and Akron. Kansas that just won the Big 12 tournament. We'll be playing Akron. I don't think there's a human owner for Akron. There may be. And after that, Michigan is on the side with the Buffs. They're going to match up against MBB Mets 69, Nevada, UNLV 4-13 matchup. After that, we got LSU and LaSalle Davidson. I'm not sure if the owner has both these teams. But LSU comes in with the 5 seed. And they were ranked probably like 22nd or so. I don't know. They're at the bottom. It should be coming up right now. OK State was 22-9. I think LSU's somewhere 23rd ranked. Okay, next after that, Middle Tennessee and the Beavers going up against each other. We got the Blue Raiders. I believe that's their name. Blue Raiders. And Oregon State. And after that, we got, here's a bracket where Arizona State comes in at the 7 seed out of the Pac-12 playing SMU. So I believe that's just a sample. The guy who runs Southern Methodist again. But yeah, we got the Sun Devils, who thankfully are not with the rest of my teams. And after that, we got Utah, Baylor. Did he switch it? No, yes. So Lloyd no longer runs Utah. This is AI run, and he runs USC. So Utah's in with Georgia Southern, and I think that's coffee as well. And that's a wrap on Dallas. One more bracket to go. Cross your fingers if you're hoping to get into the tourney. But Arizona State is in. And ODU. So Lloyd, I think, runs Old Dominion. But ODU, respect given. Could lose to Army. No, I'm not going to hate. They obviously got players on the team. I almost want to, after this, look at who ODU has. Like, what kind of season? All right, Wisconsin. We got the Roos. So Team Australia and the Badgers going at it. So we got Blazer Taz gets a number 2 seed. Great year. 7th rank. The kind of year Blazer Taz should have out of Wisconsin, but this is their best season in a long time. And next up after Butler at a 3. So they're usually way better than that. They have to match up with Grand Canyon. And next up at the 4 slot, we got Missouri and Blazer Taz's other teams. So we got the Warriors matched up against Spider and those Tigers. And who else is going to be in the tournament? Nice to see Hawaii in it. VCU goes up to, and probably an underrated St. Mary's team, or just not having the recruiting season of the past. St. Mary's usually recruits over Zags. Most of the talent out west go to St. Mary's in this game lately through Chuck. But that's a tough matchup for VCU at the 12-5. And there we go. We got another one of these low SAT school teams, champion of the conference over and over. But we got Alabama, A&M, and Cav going up against Charleston. That's the 6-11 in Anaheim. And after that, we got K-State. Aggo is in, and they're going to have to play the Ducks out of the Pac-12. And we're down to the last slot, I believe, to get into the tournament. And that's an 8-9 matchup. Who are going to be the last two? Miss State, Tenny. So thankfully, Big Ev gets in there at the last slots, and Aggo gets Tenny in as well. That was dramatic to the bitter end there, Big Ev. Did you think you might not make it? But losing less than 10 games, you got to be able to get it. And that's a wrap. That's what it said, just what I was thinking. That's a wrap here, folks. Thank you, everybody, for attending the live Selection Sunday. Let's let this roll over now. And that's it. I'm going to save. You just watch this. And thanks, everyone, for showing up. And see you in the chat. And I will get the update out as soon as possible. All right. Thanks for coming up.